my final projects, I'll be working alongside the Immersed management team. I'll be looking behind the scenes into what goes into creating live music events. In this case, it'll be an independent music festival, and I'll also be documenting any behind the scenes process along the way. This will benefit me in the future as I will have more of an idea of what production roles go into creating these live music events. So obviously I worked on Immersed Festival last year, my second year of uni, and I have also done Green Man Festival. In Immersed Festival, I was doing the presenting and I looked at a bit of the lighting work, and at Green Man, I was doing more camera operating and behind the scenes, so like vision engineering as well. And we've also looked at vision mixing at Immersed, but I haven't worked like solely on that. So what I want to do is research all of the other job roles, so I have like just broader knowledge of what I'll be doing after uni. I think it'll be good to have obviously various information on every job role that goes into creating these events. If an employer asks me, what do you know about this job and this job, or do you have any idea of what exactly role you want to do, I'll be able to say, well, not only have I done camera and vision engineering, I'll be able to list off all the other jobs that I also have nice bit of knowledge on. This will be presented as an informative film. I will be obviously not only documenting the process throughout, I'll be recording just videos of myself, like my thought processes, what I've learned throughout the week about like the stage we're at with the Immersed Festival. So far, I have just attended some meetings with Lucy Squire. She's the music coordinator, and we're going to be working alongside her for Immersed Festival. But aside from that, it's obviously very early days. I'm just going to be, at the moment, I've just got like a set idea of what I sort of want to be doing. But yeah, as time goes on, I will be definitely documenting the process, interviewing the crew, asking them their job roles, what they've done in preparation for their role, and what made them want to do what they're doing. I'll hopefully be interviewing the public, and obviously I'll be finally showing the end result. So far, my research process has consisted of watching the 7 Days documentary. I've also looked online on YouTube of similar documentaries that people have made. There was one good one that I like the look of at Bloodstock Festival, where one of the crew was walking you through the camera, the vision mixing and the sound engineering, I think it was. I thought this was really good and informative, and that was the most beneficial one I've come across. It was only 3 minutes long though, so obviously I'm going to try and make mine 10 to 15 minutes long. So although this was a really good starting point, I'm going to be putting a lot more into my own documentary. I wanted to study this topic as I've also always been interested in live events. I've been attending concerts at Motorpoint Arena, which is now Cardiff International Arena. I've attended concerts there for as long as I can remember, probably since I was about 13 or 14, and I've also numerously attended Reading Festival, and obviously I love attending these gigs, but I've always been interested in how do they make them look so amazing, like, because you see people up on stage, like on the stage changeovers, but you never really know like what goes into creating these events. So as someone who would love to go and work in the live events industry after university, obviously with Immersed sort of kickstarting it, having finally begun to get a feel for the live broadcasting at live events with this year's Green Man Festival, working on that this year really did just start to drive my passion further. So I really cannot wait to start learning all about these job roles. For my pilot, I'm hoping to just be documenting maybe Immersed TV, as I know that usually goes ahead a bit earlier than Immersed Festival. If I can't look at Immersed TV, then obviously the student bands at USW, and they're always putting on free gigs, so I think I'll be tagging along to those. Before February, I aim to have interviews with the crew members, as I also want to include this in my documentary. I think I'll be looking to interview a few of these people at the university, maybe in the studio spaces. So I'll be looking to maybe book some slots in the TV studio once people have started getting back to me about what their job roles and positions are, maybe in the industry. I've emailed people such as Rodri Shaw. He is in charge of Four Wall Entertainment, and that is the company we worked with at Green Man Festival. So just waiting on some people to get back to me, and then I can start looking in the works of arranging interviews, just so I can have some information beforehand, before Immersed Festival. So my job role as a whole for this, as I'm working solo on this project, I'll be doing things such as scouting locations, booking equipment, emailing contacts, writing interview questions, obviously then interviewing, filming, editing, sound, a lot. I probably will try and get some help from my peers in my class if I do really feel like I need it. Like if I'm doing an interview, I might need someone to stand in doing the recording, and obviously they'll also get credited for any work that they do as well. So the locations that I'll mainly be filming at, so the TV studio in USW or just some location in USW. For my documentary process, it'll most likely just be here in my room for the vlog clips. If I can't get people on location at USW to do the interviews, like for Four Wall or maybe like Orchard Live people, I will be potentially doing this over Google Teams, so that's another online location. And for on the day footage of Immerse, that'll be taking place at Tramshed. The equipment needed then, so ideally for on location, I'll be looking at maybe using a smaller camera, which is the Sony MC88. I haven't used it before, so I'll probably just have to look into booking some sessions on how to use the equipment. It's like a handheld camera. So I think for maybe when I'm working on location, instead of lugging about a massive camera, it might be just easier to use just a smaller handheld version of the same thing that the Sony FS5 could do. Obviously then I'll need SD cards, tripods. I'll be looking at using the Rode shotgun mic, the smaller one that clips into the camera. ARRI lighting kits I'll be looking at for the location USW interviews, and maybe a handheld mic kit for on location interviews. Any excess information will be in my production folder, which I will be submitting as well as this. For spending, I'm hoping to not spend any money really, but if anything, I think maybe the expenses to get to and from the Tramshed, or maybe some refreshments for the crew.